Life is a kaleidoscope. Powerful stories of a mother to inspire hope and happiness in you. Author Sue Lachman. Narrated by the author. Introduction. I grew up in the age when children were seen and not heard. That's how life was in the late 1950s and early 1960s in London. My parents did the best they could to give us a happy life. When I was about 18 years old, I wondered if there must be more to life than I could see. On the face of it, my father made something of his life. He was a successful businessman, a family man who was able to travel the world when and how he wanted, and I aspired to do the same in all aspects of my life. My father built up his business by working day and night, and I hardly saw him until I was in my late teens. He had a tough life when growing up. He regaled us with stories of how he slept on a rush mat on the floor, and that he left school at 14. I believe it had made him a stronger person, someone who fought to get to a comfortable place, and to be his own boss. By the time I was a teenager, he didn't have to worry about where his next meal was coming from, unlike when he was first married. So at first I imitated him, how he spoke to and behaved with people. My father had several shops and a warehouse with plumbing supplies. That was only part of the business, and at the back end of the shop and the warehouse was a central heating installation centre that dealt with servicing gas boilers and full installations. He employed dozens of people. I recall one telephone conversation between my father and a supplier. "I need 100 metres of 15mm copper tube. I'm not paying the crazy prices you quote. I will give you the same as you quoted me 2 weeks ago, and you will deliver it tomorrow." I couldn't hear the other side of the call, but I was fascinated as the conversation became more heated. I have no idea if the person at the other end started to raise his voice, but my father didn't budge an inch. As far as he was concerned, he wanted something, and he wouldn't give up. In the end, my enraged father said, "Listen, if you don't want this order, fine, I will find another supplier." He slammed the phone down so hard it almost jumped out of its cradle. I commented to my father, "Forget that. Shall I try a different supplier?" "Oh, no. They will ring back soon," he said. I was flabbergasted when no sooner said than done. A call came in to agree the terms. I realized that my father was forceful and got what he wanted, but I didn't really see him in action until I started working for him in my late 20s. My mum, on the other hand, just wanted the best for everyone. She was always there to resolve arguments and make sure there was peace at home. Her way of giving was to make food, and more food, and then more. Not only because that was her way of keeping busy, but also because, as more often than not, we had guests who would pop in unannounced. My parents loved to travel, and their favourite place to visit was America, particularly to see the various relatives we had scattered across the country. I was lucky enough to be invited on their holiday on a couple of occasions. There were a couple of times that I sat back in shock and horror at my behaviour, both then and now, often being very opinionated. One such time was when we were visiting family in America. I can't honestly remember what the conversation was about, but I do remember butting in. I said something that I thought would make me look like I was someone, not just to be seen. One of the family members eyed me and said, "You are full of ego." Someone had dared to call me out on something, but this was family, and I was humiliated in front of my father and other relatives. Concentrating on more conversation was difficult after that, and I slinked off to the corner of the room until the sun went down. Ignore him. People don't like to be ignored, and he will in turn suffer just as I did. He didn't seem to care, though, that I was ignoring him for the short time we spent visiting.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?